Once a cheater, always a cheater. I just feel the need to vent. I posted recently about my husband emotionally cheating, quite possibly physically too. I was inspired to read through the texts between him and the woman. I was only able to skim through them before. Maybe I shouldn't have. They messaged each other every day and for hours most days. He lied to me about the times they met up because he knew that what they were doing was wrong. When I confronted him about it all, he made it look like she was the one pursuing him, but from their texts it was very much mutual. To be fair, she was the main initiator, but he did as well in his own sly way. They were clearly doing a courtship dance. Because of COVID lockdowns and working from home, meant that they had to hide most of their meetings in plain sight and cover them up with innocent, plausible explanations to their spouses. If I wasn't working from home, I'm sure it would have been a full-blown physical affair. In their messages, they would degrade their spouses and talk themselves up. She complains that her husband does nothing and that she is a saint who does everything. My husband also made it look like I was lazy and useless. But the things he said were outright lies or twisted truth. She would share her problems and he'd provide emotional support and remind her what a wonderful person she was. They would fawn over each other and say how glad they were to have met one another, and excited to be future neighbors so they can see each other more often and let the kids play together. It's not hard to see where this is all going to lead. Edit. I found a text where they discussed catching up and she said, I quote, "No need to include my kids." Anyway, I am quite certain that he's cheated before this, but at the time didn't want to admit it to myself. He used to travel for work and sometimes there would be unexpected delays. I saw on the browser history, we shared a tablet, use of a lot of porn, okay normal, and a few visits to Ashley Madison, not a lot though. I confronted him about it, but he denied knowing what it was. I told myself he probably clicked on a link from one of the porn sites. Then a few years later he accidentally sent me a really weird message. It looked like he accidentally copy/pasted the contents of a dating profile. He said whoops, I don't know where that came from. Ignore. That response was also weird. He was doing weights and more focused on his physical appearance. I didn't notice any other unusual behavior, so I again brushed it aside. To top it off, I was pregnant at the time. In hindsight, I shouldn't have been so naive and trusting. This guy is a serial cheater. It's perplexing though because he makes a really big deal about how much he values faithfulness in a marriage. His dad had abandoned a previous wife and children and cheats on his mum. He scolds his dad for it and provides emotional support to her. Yet, he then cheats on his wife. Then again, he's a hypocrite in many other ways, so I shouldn't be surprised.